Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man, Bad Chad, and Queen Jolene's on the camera. We are back at Jolene's Bugatti, and I have figured out what I want to do and what I am going to do. But I am going to show you a little process before we start. I like the idea of the tape and the rock guard. Jolene can come show it if she likes, please and thank you. We didn't do anything other yesterday than we showed you. The only thing that I'm going to do different is I'm going to spray the rock guard first, like that. I'm going to spray that all in there first. And then I'm going to apply the tape, because when I put the tape on it, it stuck really, 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 really good. So that's what I'm going to do. So rock guard, I'm going to rock guard all the seams, and then we'll tape with hockey tape all the seams. Then what I'm looking for, actually we'll get into that here in a second. I want to show something here just to help everybody out on what's going on. There's a lot of, questions and that won't work. Why? All that sort of stuff. Excuse me for a second. Had to get rid of a hitchhiker. And I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. And that's all I can do, is explain it the best I can. And then you can take it from there if you want to. But we all know what I'm doing here is not conventional. Like I already said, the way it's normally done is that you would prime it, you would tape up the car, you would seam seal it, and then you would untape the car, or you would actually paint over top of that, have the car all taped off. If you can think about the time and the energy and the cost that it would take to seam seal, or prime it, seam seal it, paint it, tape it off, if you can think of that time, you're going to also think about the time that I'm going to save by doing it my way. Also, let's get doing this. I'll explain something to you. I told you that the car was built out of a lot of square stock. So I'm gonna just show you what I mean. Now, as I weld that together, I've explained how the car is built. You can see each seam on the floor there, that there's a piece of square stock there underneath each seam. So this is what it looks like. This is the side that I'm going to rock guard and tape. When I flip that over, that right there is what I got to seam seal. Absolutely perfect. You can put the seam sealer gun in there, run along there, and you can take your finger, put a nice bead in there, and do a nice bead in there. Absolutely perfect. Underneath is rock guard, seam sealed rock guard. Nothing is coming up through. It's actually better than most cars, and I'll say this reason why, because it hasn't got all this movement in it, where I have to seam seal, make all these special moves with the seam sealer to seal it up. I just have to go from the center of this console over to the side, one swipe on both sides. Also, with down through the console, where it's all welded in there, there's square stock just like this. Square stock is here. That side piece is laying on side the square stock, all tacked inside of it. When I go underneath, I just go, clean it off like that. When it comes to the inside here, if you've ever used seam sealer before, you will know that it's hard to make that stuff look good. It really is. Like, you can spend a lot of time on it if you want to. You can take and tape each seam off. And what I mean by doing that, you can take a piece of tape. You can do this. You can take a piece of tape and put it on this side. That's not on there straight, but I'm just going to give you an example. You can put a piece of tape on that side, make a nice straight line, and then you come in here and seam seal that, and then you pull your tape off and you have a straight line. The only deal with that is, what I don't like about it, is when you pull the tape off, you have seam sealer that's over top of the tape usually, and it's not feathered off nice, and it leaves an edge. And when you pull it up, sometimes you don't get it right. It'll get springy on you, and little pieces will come off it. There's one way you can do it. Another way you can do it, you can put it on with the caulking gun and just squirt it on and put it on the best you can. So then you have this bead of seam sealer sticking out about that high, which would affect carpet, interior, that sort of stuff on this one. Or you can take and caulk it on and you can smooth it out with your finger with some thinner on it. Or you can get it in a bigger can, and you can put it on with a brush. Yes, you can. But as we look at the inside of this car, there is no seam sealer trick that's going to make that look nice. If you know what I'm trying to tell you. There's no seam sealer trick that's going to make that look like that. There's no way possible. Also, the tape, when I put the tape on, now that we got it confirmed what we're doing, we're putting the rock guard on first, then we're putting the tape over top of the rock guard, and then we're gonna rock guard it again. So basically I'm gonna go around and do all the seams. But this is the thing. People saying that it's gonna fall off and all that stuff. Have you ever taken tape on your car and bridge it with paint? If you know what I'm trying to tell you. So you tape up this window, you paint the car, and the paint gets over on the tape. You have to dig it off. You really have to dig it off. So now that I've got this idea, I've got this going here, I've got the rock guard. I'm going to rock guard in there first. And the only reason I'm going to rock guard in there first is because there's bare metal there. And when I take this off, I'm going to take that off and do that little piece over there again. But when I take that off, there's bare metal underneath there. I'm going to rock guard it because the tape sticks really good to the rock guard on top. When I end up putting the tape back over the seam, like this, when I put the tape over the seam, we are going to rock guard it. It says you should rock guard about 4 times to get a good coverage. That is going to bridge over that tape, that rock guard is, and you have to dig it off. You're really going to have to get in there with something like a screwdriver or a razor blade or something to dig that tape off. And I can guarantee it, because once you get that rock guard on there, you'd have to dig that rock guard. You have to take a grinder to get that rock guard off. Why would you not have to take and do the exact same thing with the tape when you've got it covered? So it's seam sealed from underneath. It's rock guarded from the top and from bottom. And I'm going to seal it with the tape. Someone said, well, the moisture's going to get to it and the tape's going to fall off. If you've ever taken a car outside and left it set in the moisture in the rain, you know you are not getting the tape off. You know, basically that pointed out another good thing. If any moisture comes along, that tape is going to stick even harder than it was if it was dry. What I'm trying to say, basically you could wet the tape all down before you rock guard. As long as you got it dry before you rock guard, that tape would stick twice as good. So as I'm doing this, also, I don't know what seam sealer is. A can has the seam sealer here somewhere. Seam sealer, probably $15 to $20 a tube. So $15 to $20. I might put, say, 4 tubes in it. Oh, there's over $100. Tape. What store last night? $4.50. $4.50. Time to seam seal this and make it, you know, look half decent if you can with the seam sealer. If you can with that, a couple hours probably. You know, try and do a good job, seam seal everything. With the tape and the rock guard, the way I'm going to do it, time will tell. But I've done more talking than anything. But I really feel like just because no one's ever done it before doesn't mean it won't work. To really and honestly, to think about that tape on that edge and make it look like that, when it looked like that for $4, and when I just put a piece on it, and then I take the rock guard and bridge it over top of that, you will never see it, you will never know what's going on, it'll never come off. Also, when you think about the seam sealer, if we seam seal across the floor, and then we get in there playing around and doing stuff, what's going to happen? You're going to get your foot in that seam sealer, and you're going to make a mess of it. If I rock guard it and put tape on it and bridge the tape with the rock guard, you'd have to dig it off. You're not going to move it, you're not going to anything. So I really feel like I'm onto something here. I really do. Also, we have to stop and think for a minute. Do we want to seal the car up on the inside so if it ever filled up with water, that no water could get out? Or do we want somewhere for the water to drain? You know what I'm trying to say. We're going to seal this car up all from the underneath. So we're going to have to seal it all up from the inside. We would never want to fill it up with water, having water run down in there, and then having it sealed from the underneath and have it all sit in there. No, we're going to seal it from the top so nothing can get in there, and we'll rock guard it that way. Also, when the rock guard covers the tape is like a material. It would make it waterproof. You are not spraying something with rock guard and getting it coverage and having water go through it. That's not what that stuff's about. It's to keep it out. So I'm going to go along. I'm going to spray all the seams with the rock guard, and also this saves time. And in the end, it will look better. And you know why? Because you're going to tell me. Because we're going to show you what it looks like in the end, what it looks like. So what's going to happen is I'm going to grab the rock guard. You can time me if you want to, but we're actually going to do the car right now. I'm going to blow it out a little bit. I'm going to rock guard just the seams. We're going to let the seams dry. Me and my queen Jolene on a fun day Sunday. We're going to go over and grab some breakfast at Subway. Then we'll come back and then we'll do the deal, basically. So what I want to do is I want to turn the air on for a second, just blow it out. It looks like it's got a little bit of dust in there. Also, like the way I've built Jolene's car, I've explained it probably a couple times, probably more than that. Generally, that is not the way people put in their floors of their cars. They usually drill a hole and spot weld it on, and then you come over and fill the seam. So in other words, I would have a piece of metal like this, over top of it, with holes drilled in this piece of metal, tacked down to this piece of metal. In all honesty, how much seam sealer is getting in between those two pieces that you're putting down, making tight and right? Basically, none. You are actually laying the seam sealer on top of the seam. That's basically it. With the tape, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm just laying it over the seam. The door on a car, we usually seam seal that because we don't like the rust coming out in between the door. So the door had no paint on the inside of that lip. When the lip come over and got bent over on top of that, it had no paint on it, so we got it painted now. We don't want nothing coming out of the seam, so that's why we seam seal it. Well, what is the difference if I rock guard it and put the tape? There's no rust coming out from underneath that tape. There's no breathing area. There's no way that it can come out. There's nothing in there to come out because we have rock guarded it before we started. Let's do it. But it was good to see people, use their brain on the situation. And most people just said that, no, can't do it. Well, you've never seen it be done. So it's pretty hard to knock it and say that it can't be done. And I'm going to show you. And I think that I've explained all the reasons why. Somebody said that it's sound barrier. Seam sealer is not sound barrier. Seam sealer is seam sealer. But to be honest with you, when I'm spraying this rock guard over the whole thing, that's called a sound barrier. Oh, I was going to use that air, wouldn't I? Blow that out. Just blow that out real quick. I have an air. I want the long one, but I'll take the short one. Just going to blow this out good, just for a start. Put a piece of tape on something, cover it up with paint, bridge it, and then see if you can get the tape off. That's what I'm saying. That's only so I can stick my tape to it and it's covered underneath the tape. That's the only thing I'm doing right at the present moment. And I can tell you something right now. Seam sealer is not getting in there like that rock guard is. The only reason it's not because it's the way it's applied. I got something I'm spraying. And it's where the seam is laying on the square stock. So we know we're going to get it sealed from underneath. We're just putting this on there to make sure. Doesn't that look nice, huh? That's nice. Putting lots on, or I feel like I am. But if you do not like what I'm doing, make sure that you don't do it. That's the end of it. But it's hard on my ear, wasn't it? It was hard on my ear. And I'm just putting the rock guard on because I want rock guard underneath the tape. It's going to take a good little while. You can see that tape on the other side where I just sprayed that. That's going to bridge over top of that tape, and then you know what's going to happen. You're not getting it off. Basically, is what's going to happen. I'm just going to take this. Nope, I'm just going to stick it back in where you had it.
You've got
What's that, sweetheart?
You've got one seam there still.
Look at that. Jolene's on me. And believe me, you and I had to explain this to Jolene to make her comfortable doing what I'm doing. And I had to think it all over and think of everything and just think it all over and play it over in my mind. What is actually going on? What is seam sealer all about? Is it going to come off? Is it going to peel? And what I've done is I've just gone to previous things that I've done. I know when tape gets wet, it doesn't come off. It does not. Take your card, tape it up, and put it out in the water for a while, and then try to take it off. Where I'm sealing it up with the tape and the rock guard, I have to stop and think, when the seam sealer does it, what is it doing when it lays on a seam? Is it really actually, I know it's hard to get off, but so won't that tape once I breach it with rock guard. And I know this because when I tape up my car, and it's got tape over top of the paint, I can't get it off, So that's where we're at, people. Take it for what it is. If you don't like it, throw it away. But when I'm all done and you say it looks good, you might use it. You might, and you might not. Doesn't matter to me. No, it does not. If you've never seam sealed before, you must seam seal to know why I'm doing what I'm doing. If you know what I'm trying to say, like it really is not a fantastic job to do. It's very messy, looks horrible, or I think it does, generally. It's like I said to Doug. I said, Doug, you want to seam seal that car inside and stuff like that? He said, man, he said, I'd love to, but I just want to warn you, I'd probably make a mess. And you know what? It was probably the most honest comment that you could ever get. And the reason being is because if I did it, I would probably make a mess. It is messy, messy, messy. What we're doing here, I feel like, this will be helping a lot of people make something look good when it's actually a hard process. I don't say a hard process, but and then another rock guard, just that little tiny bit. Gotta get some. And when this car is all done with the rock guard and the tape on the inside, I'm thinking you'll probably think, wow, because it would not look like that. The seam sealer that you put on is gonna shrink. It really is. And you're gonna see every spot of weld. I only got 2 cans of rock guard left. That's not a good idea. You would see every spot weld in that car when I seam sealed that. And we don't want that. Nope, we don't want that. We want it to look like the console. Awesome. And you must think, if there's ever an issue, how much easier it would be to peel off, get that tape peeled off, get that razor blade and then cut that off, peel that off, than it would be to dig seam sealer out. It'd be hard. It is hard. Trust me. Trust me. Making sure we get enough on the seam, that's all. Alrighty, now I feel like we have something that we can start with to make it look nice. I'm not sure how long that took, but that's the beginning of it. We have covered all the seams with rock guard. And the reason we want to do that is because if anything ever happens, there's something on that and no rust will come out. Beautiful. See where it goes. Yeah. That's just what the console is going to look like once I bridge that over, just to show you. Cool. Alrighty, so what I'm saying is the next step, or what the step is now, just gonna put a little more on, is to let it dry, and then we'll put the tape over top of that. That's what I'm thinking. Rock guard has dried. Now I'm gonna go in and tape it off, basically. Let's go for it. Just gonna take my boots off just because it feels clunky inside. And the car is so small that it really is a tight spot. I've got lights shining right in my eyes. That'll help me tell the truth, won't it, baby? Yeah, tell the truth. So this is just hockey tape we got at our local. See. Ugh. Be nice to be able to see. At our local sports store. Hey, so wonder if that's going to be able to do that. Hey. Your light. lights. Lights up my life. Wow. I also got the tape that you can't cut. And the reason I say that is just hard to rip there. I guess the only thing I think of when I think about hockey tape is hockey. And I can remember, wow. Wow. I can remember, you know, taping up my stick. And I always wanted to tape up my stick all the time. Just, I don't know why. It was just something to do, I guess. But taping up my hockey stick, and then when I had to peel it off after I played a couple games of hockey with it on there, beating and pounding, you know, hacking and slashing and whatever goes along with it. How hard it was to get. Wow, that's so vicious. How hard it was to get the tape off. If anybody's ever played hockey, and they can recall how hard. I don't recall it being that hard to cut, but they've tightened her up a bit, I guess. But anyways, when you take the hockey tape off your stick, I'm just going to grab a pair of scissors, and that way there I might be able to scissor it off. I don't like the dust that I put on that one, but we'll wipe that off before we stick the tape down. With the rocker going on, generally don't walk around the shop in my sock feet, but when I rockered the seams, it did clean it up and take any dust film off because it's in the rock guard now, if you know what I'm trying to tell you. And when that light, couldn't rip it off, so can't cut it off either. Wow. I was trying to make it easier. I think I am. It's definitely going to look better. Definitely. I like that piece for there. Too short. Do that again. They're making some good hockey tape these days. There we go. Now we'll get her. We'll get down in there. Stop it. Hard one to get here. I want to get the tape on it so it looks right. Nice and smooth is what I want to get. There we go. Not really. I don't like that one, but what a hard car to work on. This is such a hard spot to do anything, and that's sharp, and it's just, oh. It really is. I can't imagine. Just designing something so small. I guess it was, I still don't like that piece. I'm gonna rip that off and do it again. If I don't like it, I'm just gonna do it again. I suggest you do the same. If you don't like it, do it again. There we go. I guess I'll lay it down on the bottom. There we go. Now I'm happy. I need to be happier. Piece in for... Yeah. Piece in for behind here. Can't really see it, but just tapes it off. Yeah. Ouch. Something sharp there. Once that rock guard bridges that, I'm hoping that we'll have it made. And I guess I come to the conclusion to do it this way is because when I was going to seam seal it, it was not going to look good. Like, it really wasn't. Like, it was going to look not very good at all. So I guess basically that made my brain to this situation, I guess. I don't even know if I ripped that off. Wow. Strong stuff. So my brain come to this idea for the simple fact is it would make it look nicer. And I feel like the job that it's going to give me, I'll be satisfied, to be honest with you. Basically, when the carpet goes in and the rock guard is dry, we'll have actually a better corner to apply carpet to than having it seam sealed and all bunched up in there. It'd be like a little turd that would be in there, to be honest with you. But trying to get that in there tight as possible, so it wouldn't look that good and it'd be harder. So that's why we're here. And all the stuff that I was talking about this stuff in the rock guard is stuff that I had to think about to figure out if I wanted it or not. You know what I'm trying to tell you. You know, didn't have to do it this way, but I had to. I had to come up with something, or I was going to seam seal it and have it look like poo. So I guess this is my solution. Say solution, but yeah, say solution. Wasn't thinking it was going to be that hard to cut, but I can't see nothing. I can't get. Oh. I gotta get out. So I've got tape that I can't rip in the corner. Well, the durability test is going to work. Holy smokes. And then, or I'm thinking it's gonna. Something else. Feathers off nice when you put the layer of the I can't see anything. Like I just see it. There, now you're talking. I got this thing rolled over. That's what I don't want. Is that tape? Thanks, baby. Wow, that's exactly what I needed. I needed some light. Put that down in there. Stuff is so hard to rip. Ugh, that's quite something. It's not easily rippable. Like, I can barely cut it with a X-Acto knife. Seriously. Not happy. Driving me crazy. This will be a little aggravating if you're using hockey tape, is ripping it and cutting it. That will be aggravating for you. Just to let you know on a secret. It's just not simple. I also want the tape to lay flat on there. So, you know, I want on there decent. I can see that I've got a bubble going on there. Don't want that. Just peel back and do it again. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Sharp spot there. I think that's fine with that. I might get it. Have to find our hole. There it is there. That's going to look 10 times better than... Yeah, if I can cut that. Right, cut blades off. See what happens. Yeah, walk on that, eh? The tape, having a hard time cutting it. Once I get it cut in it, I guess it seems to be fine. And I don't want it folded over anywhere, just put wrinkles in it. That's another thing that's kind of aggravating. Gotta let you know both sides, you know, what's good, what isn't. I can't just say it's all fantastic, because in all honesty, that tape is hard to cut. And we might need another roll with me wasting it the way I am. We'll be up to $10, baby. Don't want no wrinkles in it. If I can get it without wrinkles, I'll take it, but you know what I'm trying to tell you. Hard to believe. I guess when you have a hockey stick, you wind her over and over and over and over on top of each other, and then give her a big yank. This is not what I'm doing here. I'm trying to place it on nice, and there's a difference. So that's the issue I'm having. So that same thing what's going on right here. Whether I laid seam sealer on top of that or tape on top of that, we've got it rock guarded underneath. The seam sealer is going to be laying on top of it just like the tape is. Like, nothing's going to be coming along and trying to dig it off, I wouldn't think. Especially after I, you know, bridge it with the rock guard. And what I mean bridge is build a layer over top of the metal, over on top of the tape. Hey, that one did good. Catching on now, baby. Or I think I am. Seam sealing the underneath. Taping the top. Right or wrong, that's the way I'm doing it. The car might look nice, all that stuff, but to work on it, no. I'm thinking it's the exact same thing with a real Bugatti. Something like $100 and some thousand just to change the oil in it, because you have to do a bunch of work to it. And let's face it, if you're going to work on it, you're really going to have to be paying attention and at the top of your game. You know, look at that now, would you? Took a split on me. And then, it's all right. This new tape, we went over and got some new tape. We had some other tape there. This stuff here is like, must be for the new hockey sticks. See what you, not so easy to work with. Pray for me, boys. Pray for me. I'm holding it together because this tape is trying me. It's trying me. Yeah, I'll have enough, I hope. I got another half a roll there. There we're going. Gotta get that flopped up on there if I'm going too far. Ouch. Rubbing it so hard, giving myself finger burn. Now look at this tape. Figure I can see it. I'm like a deer in headlights. It's terrible. I can't even see the tape. Come on now, baby. Hey, nice. That did nice. That worked good. It did. Worked out good. Yeah, also with the seam, like I said, I think with the seams here, I thought the carpet would have been a hard deal too. Everything's so tight, like the interior and the seat is hard up against that and really close to it. It's almost like we're gonna have to glue a material on to, let's cut that off there. And it's going to be a process of putting this on here. Like we're going to do the process of, see where it's together there? Ruins it for me. We're going to have to rock guard where the tape is first. And the reason being is, and we're going to get it on the car and get it so it's got some on top of it and try to get the bridge going before we start rock guarding the rest of the car. The rest of the car will be for, I'm going to see if I can cut that before I get down in there, because if I don't, it'll make a fool of me. That's some sharp on the ribs, like right over, leaning over that, getting in that. It's like, it's just, I think the scissors are making a fool of me anyways. Do I get a point for every time I bang my head? Does it like a ping pong machine? I bang my head every time I get in here. Like, I should get points, shouldn't I? Oh. Get it down, son. Also, in this tight area. Ooh, that looks good. That looks real good. Now, I want to keep the edge of the tape tied down. I did it. I done did it. And we were talking, me and Jolene were talking, because we always do. When the rock guard goes on top of this super strength hockey tape, it'll be getting the tape wet. You know what happens when you get tape wet? If you don't, take your car and tape it up, take it outside and leave it for a while. And then you know what never to do. It's not a good way to learn, but, well, it's how most of us learn. Tape your car up. You know, it'll be all right. It's not going to rain tonight. Leave it outdoors. Let the moisture get on it. And then try to come out the next couple days. You want to retape her up because you're done sanding and you think you want to paint it. I gotta try to cut that. Cut a little bit. Oh, shit. I didn't want to fold that tape up. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. I'm gonna rip that off. That's cool. That's all right. No, I don't want that. I want the edge of the tape to stay put. If I can get it, I'm gonna get one little piece ripped off here. A nice little straight piece if I can do it. Yep. Just to get it off your fingers, you're kind of just want that smoother. That's all right there. Right? Why not? Got a chance to. Put another piece of tape on it. There. So that looks nice and smooth down in there. You know, you can actually, you probably can visualize me. Visualize me trying to seam seal down in here with, if you can visualize it, seam sealing down here with stuff all over your fingers. You couldn't squish the tube worth a ding dong. This little piece. We sort of want to make it look. You see them wrinkles I'm getting in there? I don't want them wrinkles. I guess that would be the ultimate. It's just to get it on straight. Don't matter if it overlaps, I don't think. I'm not sure the thickness of this stuff. You're gonna have to get up in there. Let's do this one. Nice fit in the corner. Nice. There's that infamous string that goes on the outside of the hockey tape. I always remember that. There was always seemed to be a string somewheres. Being a free bird on this tape. Don't want to rub that edge up. I want to keep that smooth as possible. Smooth as possible. stronger with time, boys. Look at that. Ripped it right out. No problem. Don't want that. Don't want that in there so much. Nice. Now, what time is it at? 27 minutes? I got time to do the other side? Just a minute now. Yeah, the rock ought to go on really quick. Let me keep going here for a second. Let me get this side. Don't leave me, boys. Don't leave me. Come on. Finish this through. See if I can't get enough tape on this. This was a weld seam. And I think I want to smooth that edge off a little bit. There it is. That's why it was getting weaker. It knew it was done. I got some more tape here. I think this stuff actually was a little less strong. Or it made me feel stronger, one or the other. Maybe not. No, that rips easy. Maybe too easy. We'll use it though. Get one side tight, get in the middle tight, and then, I guess, veer that one off. I like to finish it though. That light shining in my face full time. It's hard on me, honey. It's hard on me. All right. Let's finish this down here in the corner of this. I'm just going to go on one side, make it look decent, and then roll it over. There might be a few little strands going. I don't like some of the places where the tape got wrinkled. I'm going to have to deal with it. Probably could puncture that. Stuff. You think you can cut that? Okay. No, that stuff is crazy. Just took a bubble out of it. All right. Yeah, what I'm going to do is, looks better already. I'm just going to throw a little rock guard on it for this side, and then the oh, that tape worked better, didn't it? Tape was giving me a huff and a fuss. All right. Anyways. So the rock around. Let's see this. We're going to need more tape too to get the other side done. Or I think we are. I think I'm feeling pretty good about the tape. I just want to make sure the edges are down, I guess. I guess the main thing, what I'm trying to get, I guess, is no wrinkles in the tape. And that's sometimes a hard thing. Oh, I don't know if I finished the conversation about me and Jolene talking in the truck about the tape. She says that when the tape gets wet with the rock guard, that's when that's going to work. Cool. Cool. That was cool. There was like a little spot that it wasn't sticking. I just pushed it in with the rock guard on. That stuff went in there like nobody's tomorrow. Crazy. The rock guard will get the duct tape wet and it'll make it react and want to stick. Or hockey tape. When hockey tape gets wet when you're out on the ice, that's the stuff you have to go to in your brain if you're trying to figure something out, if it's going to work or not. This tape is meant to get wet, if you know what I'm trying to say. So, it'll take a little bit. I'll take and cover it up a little bit at a time. That way there. All right, come on your side, sweetheart. You can probably just stay right there. You'll be spray from this side. You want that? Yeah. I just gotta go in there. I don't like that. Make that stay. Make me happy. It will. Or else. Also, if anything comes up, just push on it. Try to get her in place. This stuff says it should be 4 coats or something like that. We'll see how many it takes. What do you think? Yeah, I think it looks good. If you've ever seam sealed before, you'd have to, you would know. If you've ever seam sealed before, you would know. If you would know. I've got a bubble on that side on the console, see it? Right there, I don't like that. I might fix it. Got the tape in there. Pushed it in there once. Yeah. Just gotta hold it there so it gets, the rock guard goes in and starts to harden for me, right? And then it'll stay in place. Any luck at all. If not, when it hardens, I'll just cut it and tape it again. You know what I mean? So if I do have that issue right there I don't like, I'll just cut that and do it again. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting a bubble right here I don't like. I'm gonna cut it. Cut it, and then when it hardens, I'll put a new piece in there. But I just want that to stay. If you know what I'm trying to say. I'm in the rock guard now. You can see how that's bridging on top of that tape. See that? Rub my finger across there. Yeah, I'm just playing in it really, but it is what it is. Just playing. I just want to. Just playing now. And anything I don't like, make sure to know that I'll just fix it. You know what I mean? Like, just put more tape or more rock guard, that's all it is. The bubble in the tape is my fault for not getting the tape down nice. You know what I'm trying to tell you? I didn't get the tape down without a bubble in it. Didn't press it on there right. So, in other words, I just pull it off, cut it, and then put another piece on top of it and do it again. I'm not gonna pull that tape out of there. I'll cut it with that knife, push it down in there and get it to stay where I want it to stay, and then put another piece over top of it and rock guard it again. Like, not gonna pull anything off, not gonna do anything silly. And get into it, just gonna. I need to go the other side. And it's turned out to be just as big a job as seam sealing it. It really has. Still a big job no matter what you look at it. I'm gonna get your clothes there, sweetheart. Get your clothes! Get your clothes. Whew. See, I want to fix that. I'm going to cut that and fix that. This thing still isn't cut. I got so much pressure on that that's sitting in there nice. I don't want this. Yeah. Stay. I gotta get some cuts. Here we go. Here. It's so tight, hey? Anything I don't like, just come along and fix it. I went to this one too. I got it too tight. Oh boy. Finger daubing now. Could be worse. Could be seam sealer. Couldn't it, baby? Huh? Could be worse. Could be seam sealer. Now. I want to. I'm into it now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dry. Ah! Get out of there. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll put a new piece of tape on it, rock guard it. If you know what I'm trying to say. There's no sense me putting a piece of tape on something wet. I wouldn't think. What I just had? Anyways, the tape was on there too tight and it busted up there. Didn't like that. So basically just come in there and cut that and whatever. Everything else is looking really good. It's going to bridge the tape with the rock guard, and the inside will be what it's going to be. Yeah. I can't Can't see you not being satisfied with that when that dries, if you know what I'm trying to say. When that dries, like it's wet right now, obviously. But you can imagine being in seam sealer and doing that. I did have little doings over there, but I mean, hey, it happens. And when it's all rock hard and covered over carpet, you would never know. It'll all be forgotten. But that's the way I'm doing it, to make it look better than if I seam sealed it. Thanks everybody for coming back. Thanks everybody for listening. You do it your way. I'm just doing it my way because of making me happy. But if you like something, take it. If you don't, throw it away. Right? Come back tomorrow and we'll be here. Thanks very much for coming back.